And welcome to another California Guy video with your boy California Guy. What's up, everybody? And welcome to this follow up video for my last video. This is a video that's going to be more off topic. Uh, I'm going to review a Netflix show that I like and one of my favorite superheroes, and that's Luke Cage. I had watched Luke Cage finally. I mean, last week actually, a couple of weeks ago. I didn't finally watch it, but I watched it 2 weeks ago and absolutely enjoyed it. It was more than I thought it was going to be. It was more stuff added in Luke Cage that I thought they probably wouldn't have went there with when it comes down to the Netflix show. The show is apologetically black, as the headlines have been saying in many black websites. This is the year again of pro blackness and the rise of Afrocentric returning back to the communities. And Luke Cage symbolized that. Now, Luke Cage follows up from Jessica Jones and Daredevil, basically the 2 seasons of Daredevil. So if you guys seen Daredevil, basically, let me give you an outlook. Daredevil is like the Iron Man of the street level heroes of the MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe. So basically, the two Daredevil shows was there to introduce that character, but introduce the wide range of different characters in New York City that's superheroes to build up for the Defender. So Daredevil was first, kind of what they did with Iron Man 1. But Daredevil is in the same universe as the Avengers, basically. So if you guys have watched the Avenger movies or have an idea about the MCU, I have another channel because I do comic books and radio shows, so you guys can check out my other channels where I talk about this. But I'm just gonna say it's in the same universe as the MCU movies, but it's on a smaller level where the heroes are protecting their neighborhoods, so you're getting smaller scale stories. So Daredevil was the first to sort of introduce a bunch of concepts and characters going forward into the MCU. They had characters from Daredevil also that was in Luke Cage. So you feel the ramifications of, and I'm a spoiler alert, Kingpin going to prison, Punisher in season two attacking criminals in New York, Jessica Jones even, where Luke Cage was introduced at, because Luke Cage came from there. So I recommend you guys watch Jessica Jones. It was a decent show because that was Luke Cage's first appearance live action really on that TV show. So when you watch that, she in the comic book, Jessica Jones and Luke Cage has a relationship of in the Alias comic book. So the show, and I'm not going to go through Jessica Jones, their whole premise because I reviewed it on another channel. But basically, the Jessica Jones show helped to set up Luke Cage going forward to his own show. He was basically a co-star in that show, but they introduced Reva. You've seen Reva Connors in Luke Cage, basically, and TV show. Excuse me. So basically, Jessica Jones was a jump off point for Luke Cage. So Luke Cage, you find himself, and let me give a backstory real quick before we get into the Luke Cage show. In the Jessica Jones show, basically, Luke loses his bar. Luke finds the man who killed his wife, Reva, of Connors, and basically he leaves from Hell's Kitchen, which that's the basis of the Netflix shows is Hell's Kitchen. That's where Daredevil and Jessica Jones is located at. So Luke has to go uptown to New York, where that's the start of his adventures. He's like the cap. This was like the Captain America, the TV, the Netflix shows. So we start off with Luke in Harlem working for Pops, the barber, the popular barber, in Harlem, Black Barber. It's they're discussing about basketball players, Pat Riley, this barbershop shit was one of the brilliance and the authenticity that they had for it. It was authentic with being in the black community. You don't have to per se just be from Harlem, but if you're from I don't care if you live in Oakland, California, Baltimore, Compton, Philadelphia, what else? Chicago or Detroit. If you guys, anybody that grew up in a big black city, major black city in the United States, and you grew up around barbershops and the environments you will feel Luke Cage, basically. If you grow up kind of in the hood, South Central, places like that. So it starts off with Pops and Luke Cage. And so Luke has these powers, these amazing powers that he has. And so basically it sets up, a chain of events with the kids at the barbershop. And I'm not going to spoil a lot of it for you guys to watch. I'm not going to do a big review because I'm going to do it on my radio show. But Luke basically gets involved, and everything goes haywire in Harlem. Basically, they name drop a lot of black leaders, black culture in this TV show. It was all black. It was written by oh man, I forgot his name just that quick. The brother that used to be with Biggie. Um, he used to work for Vibe. I forget his name right now. I don't know why I left my notes in my drawer. So I have to go back and I will put it up, I guess, in my comment section. Or you guys can write his name out, the brother that created the show and pitched the idea. But the show deals with, this video is about the culture of it. I'm going to review Luke again basically on my radio show. But the show uses a lot of black culture, black names like Crispus Attucks, uh, Donald Goins. He was a black writer from back in the 70s. I don't know if you guys ever read a lot of his novels back then. Chester Himes. They make a lot of references to black authors. Black music, like the Cotton Cub with Cottonmouth. They go back to the black gangsters of the 1940s, 50s, 60s, and it's like he's like their Bumpy Johnson of Harlem, and yeah, the great Alfred Woodard playing the Congress movement, Mariah. They go really deep into black culture. That was the branch of the Luke Cage show, and a lot of racists, they disliked the show because they felt that Luke, this show was too black. And now my thing was this with these suspected white supremacists, they on every network ever since, and I'm in my mid 30s, and I could tell you since I've been a kid, everything has been white. It's been all white superheroes, and I'm a major comic book person. Every super I've read and has been on TV has been white. They may have a token black here and there, but it's been predominantly white with white situations. So these suspected white supremacists, they hate the fact that this was a black superhero with an all black cast that had adventures up in the ghetto, and they talked about Black Lives Matters. They talked about hip hop, jazz. They had all that black literature, and it wasn't negative. It wasn't on any negative stuff that we've seen on TV like Empire and other things that don't delve with the culture. But this delves deep into the culture. They show the appreciation for music. They show you about. They talk about police brutality. They talk about corrupt black politicians. And again, if you guys have lived in a black city, because what's sad about watching Luke Cage and many other black TV shows is gentrifying. What's going on through the United States is gentrifying. New Orleans, Oakland, California, San Francisco, Hunters Point. They were getting rid of a lot of black people in their neighborhood, popular neighborhoods. And so Luke Cage depicts that gentrifying effect and the appreciation of all black neighborhoods and all black cities such as Oakland and Detroit and South Central and Compton and Watts and all these places, because we offer so much black culture, and that's what Luke Cage was showing in that show, the appreciation for black beauty and black culture at the same time. And we had deep stuff. I know it was a comic book show, but they had to kind of back up a little bit, but they put out enough to where people get the ideal, and suspected uh, white supremacists, they did not like the ideal that it was a black show depicting black culture. They feel that they had to be in everything that we do. So, the show was a great show. I enjoyed it. I'm gonna review it again, like I said, on my radio show. So I'm not gonna go too deep into it. I suggest you guys check out the books that Luke was reading. Now, I've read The Heat's On from Chester Heim, and I've read some Donald Goin novels years back. I've read some of his books way back in Invisible Man. But I suggest that you brothers and sisters check out a lot of the books that they was recommending in there. I suggest you check out books on the Harlem Renaissance, the authors that came through Harlem. I suggest you check out the unauthorized biography of Billie Holiday that they just made too. It has nothing to do with this topic I'm talking about, but I just read that. It was a really good book. Check out some black jazz videos on YouTube and the environments, the club environments that they have back in the 30s and 40s. I suggest you check out also, what's a few recommendations? I suggest you check out Mr. Untouchable, by the way, that featured Nicky Barnes, the gangster. There's a few things I could. I'm gonna put it in the description box, but this show really unified black awareness and black culture, black politicians, whether they were corrupt or positive, and one of the main themes, even though they kind of put it through this, they used the theme kind of through the show, is the gentrifying going on because in my city of Oakland, California, they totally gentrified Oakland. Oakland is now not a black city no more. It's not. You got black people still there, but it's not the same anymore. Black culture is gone. They painted over. They took murals of Huey Newton is painted over with Hispanic stuff. So it's really sad. A lot of black culture has left my city of Oakland, and when I go to South Central and San Francisco and Compton, and it looks very radically different from the time when I was a little kid growing up, or as a young man in these neighborhoods, and it's really different. So this show is depicting it, and hopefully we get more shows like it. Peace out.